Well, friends, I hope you are having a great day. I see a couple of people already enjoyed us here on Facebook. Um, and we're going live a little early today. Also, Instagram, I see you over here. So I'm going to be jumping in between these two screens, making sure our sound is working, making sure everybody can hear me, and always going live around this time. But today we're going live an hour early, because I'm going to be doing some cool stuff this afternoon with a conference I'll be telling you about. But hopefully, if you were able to catch us on the replay, even if you weren't able to come in a little earlier, I always want to make sure that our replay viewers are comfortable and know that it's not as important that you come in right at the time that we go live, because obviously some of you guys are working and there's things going on all throughout the day. So I always want to make sure this is kind of evergreen, that it's applicable to you no matter what time of day or night you watch this. If you're new to the show, my name is Alan C. Paul. I'm a musician, I'm a creative coach, I'm an author, and this is God and Gigs. As you're watching, probably on YouTube or Facebook, you probably know about this channel already. But if you're new, welcome. This is a place for creative artists, for musicians, freelancers, anybody that has a foot in the creative space, but also a foot in faith and Christianity and a worldview that honors spirituality and how we can approach this creative life the right way. So that's what we're doing here. I'm going to take these headphones off because they're kind of weirding me out right now. Hearing myself is kind of strange. So if you're joining us, thanks so much for joining. This is again going to be kind of like a shortened show. In just a few minutes, I'm going to be going live with another conference I'm going to be telling you about. And that's kind of why I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and still do the creative checkup today and just talk. I don't have any notes today. Some of you guys who have been watching the creative checkups, you're used to my slides on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm not going to do those slides today. I'm just going to be doing a talk and a question and answer. I got my chat box up here, so in case you guys have any chats or any questions, you can always put them in the chat box, either Facebook or on YouTube. And also, I'll be checking in on Instagram so that I can find out what you'd like to know about how I got started doing this live streaming thing, because I think I'm the poster child of someone who did not get into this really knowing anything about it. I didn't jump in with a bunch of technical knowledge. This show that you're watching right now, I really only got started about maybe six, seven. No, I think I started in earnest every week, probably right around the pandemic, but I'd say the beginning of 2000 or maybe a little earlier than that. I just made a commitment to do this every week, no matter how many people were watching. I said, I'm going to get into this. I'm going to make myself do this. And then with my other show, which is what I'll be talking about in my conference speech later this week, Let's Keep It Playing. I started that in March when most of us, saw the world coming to a crazy new chapter with the pandemic. So I started that around March and April. That's when I started that live stream show. So thank you guys for joining us on Instagram. By the way, I know I'm jumping now back and forth between screens. You guys are down there. You're up here. So everybody hopefully can see me and hear me as well. All right. So I'm hoping everything's good with sound. I'm hoping that my lag in terms of the video and audio is not too crazy, because that's always a technical issue I got to deal with. But it seems like we're good. So if you're checking in on Facebook, let me know where you're watching from. Instagram, let me know where you're watching from. And again, this is going to be just a quick talk. I really just want to find out what you guys want to know about how I got started, and whether you have had questions about getting started in live streaming in terms of your creative space. So let's start with this. I'm a musician, and so obviously a lot of the things I did in my music side had to do with getting my music and getting my live performances out into an audience when the pandemic started. So I really had to learn quickly all of the technical things, but more importantly, how to connect with my audiences in a totally new format. And that was one of the biggest learning curves I had to get over when it came to becoming a live streaming professional, creative professional. And this relates to you because you might be in a totally different space. You might be an artist. You might be a not a performing artist, but you might be a visual artist that creates, things like paintings, or you're doing design, or you're doing sculpture. You're doing things that don't apply, it seems, to performing in front of people live like I do in music. Or maybe you're a teacher, or maybe you're a person that writes film. You do film, or you write scripts, or you do written types of things. You're an author, and you might say, okay, that doesn't apply to me either. Red, Riding Hood. Exactly as soon as I said poets, you popped up. So my good friend Camilla over there, you are a poet, and I know that you could definitely benefit from this. But I hope you'll hang out if you can with me, and let me know if I'm on the right track here. So there's poets, there's all kinds of creative people, and we all have this need to reach our audiences in COVID-19 in a COVID-19 world. And I've had to learn very quickly how to get comfortable with live streaming being one of those ways that I can reach my audiences and really grow my influence and grow my brand. And more importantly, connect with the people that I'm called to connect to. That's where I'm going to hang my hat today, because I got started live streaming out of needing a way to do this, but not feeling comfortable. This was not my comfort zone. What I'm doing right now, y'all, talking to you on 3 different screens, 3 different platforms. By the way, if you are watching, can you share this with somebody just to let them know if they've been scared of live streaming, so they can see someone who was also scared and wasn't comfortable with video? They can find out that, hey, if he can do it, I can do it. So feel free to share this with someone. And again, this only takes maybe 30 minutes. I got to jump off and get to the conference I'll be telling you about, because that conference starts today and I'll be a speaker, not tonight, but I want to watch as many of these shows and these presentations and sessions as possible. So that's why I had to go live a little early. So anyway, how I got started. Let me just break it down slowly, kind of break it, back to the beginning. As I said, beginning of 2020, I said this show particularly, this creative checkup, I was doing it sporadically. So you guys that are watching God and Gigs, I've had the podcast for about 2 years now. Maybe 3, coming up on 3 years, something like that. I think we did start in 2017. So yes, 3 years old. And, but I wasn't podcasting every week. We were doing it every other week. So that was one thing where I said, okay, well, I'll blog and then I'll podcast and I'll kind of keep myself from going crazy. And I thought that would be a good way to kind of make sure I didn't get overwhelmed. Problem is that it made it very easy also for me to take breaks and kind of get off track. And so the podcast did grow, but it wasn't like I was really pushing to make it an every week kind of thing. And the same thing with the videos. Whenever I would go live, it would be, oh, let me try this, but I never really committed to it over time. So I'd say the beginning of this year is when I said, you know what, nothing's going to change if I don't change the way I'm doing things, because I just felt like I wasn't giving myself a chance to grow and really push forward with what I had to share. And that's talking about this particular platform with you guys, with my creative entrepreneurs, the faith-focused freelancers, musicians, artists, church musicians, worship musicians, all of you guys. I knew that I had to do better with how I was connecting with my audience, and then really kind of show up. I had to show up. It was too easy to hide behind just a logo and hide behind, just a blog post. And it was too easy to simply say, I'll only show up whenever I need to show up. What's up, Mr. Snowden, by the way? Sorry about that. Had to say a shout out to the newly married Chris Snowden. Happy anniversary. I don't know what you say. What do you say when you first went? Congratulations, man. Congratulations. And you're so cool to see you and your new bride, man, hanging out. So I had to shout out Chris Snowden over there. He's in episode, I think, 35. Check out his podcast, godandgigs.com/35. He's one of the most amazing bass players, one of the most great friends. So you are another connection, Chris, that I'm talking about. People I had to show up for, right? So I had to start showing up for my audience, okay? I had to show up weekly. I had to show up consistently. I had to show up in a way that didn't just kind of give me the out of saying, okay, I'm not going to, I'll just post here. They won't miss me. I'll show up here. Even doing this show that I'm doing right now in front of you guys is an example where I had to push myself to be consistent. And this is where I think the live streaming element becomes so powerful to what it did in my life and what I think it can do in your life, even if you're not cool going live like I was. I'm still not. I still freak out every time I turn this camera on. So let me equate it once again to how I started. The creative checkup, I started doing it every week. Okay, so you guys are seeing me because I made a commitment to every week. I'm going to turn on the camera. I'm going to go live, whether I like it or not, whether any of you guys show up or not. Then the second part was my live stream show, Keep the Music Playing, which again, never really wanted to go live in my music, But then the pandemic hits, and my good friend Rochelle Koba, who's another great person, that was kind of like helping me in this community, and she's always been following me. But we've been musical friends for a long time as well, and I performed in her shows. She's a blues guitarist, amazing, amazing, amazing sister. Can sing like crazy singer, crazy ability on guitar. So we had a gig scheduled for March 20th, and so March 20th comes around, and of course, you know what happened. March 13th, the entire world shut down. So, what I found out is that, okay, I need to find a way to continue what I do, even though this pandemic is shutting us all down. And so I called Rochelle and I said, hey, Rochelle, look, I don't really know how to do this live streaming thing, but let's just try it. Let's just see if some of our people might tune in. I started researching some of this stuff on live streaming real quick. And lo and behold, we did a show. And not only did we do a show, here's the big kicker, guys. I sold tickets to my first show. Our first show that we did, we tried a element where I did a live element, and then I did a paid element where there was a live free show, and then there was a live paid show. And that, guys, I think was the first key to me realizing that there's an audience that really missed the live music element. And I was able to capitalize on that, and it became what has now become 26, 27 shows with a lot of my great friends. All these shows done in a responsible way where it was only a couple of people. We were always, deciding whether we were going to sanitize or wear masks or whatever, but I was able to share these shows and create a library of content. And yes, we've also earned money that we've been able to donate to the Grammy organization, Music Cares. So there's so many cool things that happen because I pushed myself out of my comfort zone, got over my fear of going live each week. And again, the key is, we've taken a couple of breaks here and there and kind of given, the audience a chance to chill and, book audiences and stuff like that. But that is really what I think me pushing myself into this element. Ja, I see you right there, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's what really made this possible, was not the technology, which we could talk about. I can talk about Restream, which is what I'm using right now. They're one of the sponsors of the conference I'm going to be talking about in a second. Restream allows me to go to Facebook and YouTube. So I'm talking to you right now on Facebook and YouTube. Instagram, obviously, I have on a separate phone. But all this I'm doing from my phone, an app on my phone. I can give you links to all the stuff that I use, but 99.9% of it is stuff I already had in my house. Technology that was already available to me. Phones, my laptop, my mic was here, for other purposes. And then I just, I guess I could hook it up. And so I really kind of just made it happen out of what I already had available to me. And it wasn't out of any technical knowledge. I'm not a producer, not a videographer, never done this stuff before. And I was able to build these things because I made a commitment to being consistent and showing up. And live streaming was a way to say to you, I'm saying to you, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be here. I'm going to show you what's going on in my life. And I'm going to kill that ego and that fear and that imposter syndrome, because there's what else am I going to do? I'm going to sit in my home. I'm going to keep trying to get attention. I'm going to keep trying to show you what I'm doing, or I could actually show up and let you see what's happening. So for those of you who are artists, who are not performing artists, as you can see, this platform, Guiding Gigs, is not about music. It is a teaching platform. It's an inspiration and community platform. So I've used live streaming in that way to share what I know, and then share, of course, my books and share more about what I do and kind of connect people. So it's a community generating content type platform now. And the live stream just simply allows me to connect with you guys more often. If you're a performing artist, then of course you can perform for your live stream. You can create a element where you are doing what you do each week, but showing, your fans, showing your friends, showing your audiences, maybe the behind the scenes. Maybe you're using something like Patreon, something like that. So these ways that you can use live streaming to, again, accentuate what you're already doing. I think that's a key element, guys. You don't have to change everything. Thank you so much, Red. Oh God, that's my cousin over there. Red is saying I did an awesome job, and that means a lot. Latoya, thank you so much for chiming in as well. I appreciate that sentiment. I really do think this has been a God thing. And let me take it back here because I did say it's going to be a free flowing thing today. I wasn't going to concentrate on notes. I was just going to, again, I'm just going to turn the camera on and let's just see what happens. So let me focus on this part. And again, the faith and the need for us to be present and be to show up for our audiences and not be scared of, well, what if nobody watches? Okay, I talked about that in a previous checkup. The one, Jesus talked about leaving the 99 and looking for the one. Okay, you guys as my audience, each one of you has to be just as important to me as the thousands and millions of people who are not watching right now. And I need to show up for you, and your fans and your audiences and your listeners have a unique need that you may need to fill, whether it's entertainment, inspiration, or education. Okay, one of those three things you can provide for your audience: entertainment, education, or inspiration. And they are all looking for you at this moment. And if you're not there because you're scared of going live, you're scared of live streaming, the technology or whatever has you freaked out, and you're not showing up for them, it's really on you. It's really on you for not giving them the chance, at least to try to learn what you're doing, at least the open door, right? You got to open that door. So the technical stuff that, I'm checking on my streams, by the way, just to make sure everything's working, but I think we're good. Wherever you are, whatever you're working on, you got to give people a window into it. And I am the poster child for someone who did not want to give people a window into this particular part. My laptop I was happy with that. I was happy with blogging. I was happy with just handling, the community, the live events that we did, our spiritual sheds for God and Gigs. I love those spiritual sheds. I want to get back to them when we can do it responsibly. But the live streaming and the video part, I was like, I don't want to deal with it at all. And yet now, here we are 6 months, 7 months, 8 months into this pandemic. And this is an open door now that God has opened to me to really see what's possible. I would never be doing a panelist speaking conference, guys. I'm a panelist on this thing, and I've only been doing this for 6 months. And I'm being up with people who have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and I'm speaking on their conference. So let me jump right into that because I've been talking kind of rambling for about 20 minutes. The conference that I'm speaking at, you can still go to. It is called VidFest 2020. And again, as I think I've hopefully pointed out here, I'm not just promoting a conference about video because I want you to all become video creators and YouTube stars. I am the least interested in becoming a YouTube star that you'll ever find. What I'm trying to say is, everyone is involved. If you're watching me right now, you're involved in video. You've either done a search on YouTube, or you've been on YouTube, or you've done Facebook video, or you watch Facebook video. We are all part of this ecosystem now. And so me as a Christian creative, as a faith-focused freelancer, and as a person who wants to do things with a spirit of excellence, I don't want to be left wondering how to do this. I want to watch people and learn from people who already do this at a super high level. So VidFest 2020 is the name of the conference. And let me see if I do. I might have that slide here. Yes, there it is. Thank God I had it from my previous thing. So VidFest 2020 is the name of the conference. It starts today, literally starts in about 30 minutes. That's why I had to get off and quickly go, because I want to be there for the beginning conference. But it goes all week long. It goes all week long. And it's going to be tons and tons of things. There's an app that you can download once you register, and you can watch on your phone or you can watch online. It's available for pretty much anyone. Again, if you are interested in any kind of creative video content, how to get on YouTube, how to build your audience, how to get on LinkedIn video, how to use Amazon video. These are things I didn't even know about. I'm going to be learning about. And then my talk will be on Wednesday on how to build real life connections with a virtual audience, which is what we did with Keep the Music Playing, my other show. So I hope I'll kind of like this. If you have any questions, by the way, I want to make sure I answer any of that. Jolly said you like the word ecosystem. Yes, it's a video ecosystem that we're involved in, like all of us now. If you're watching Instagram Reels, if you're watching me now, this is an ecosystem that is evolved around us. The Zoom is part of that ecosystem, right? So we've all become a part of this video ecosystem that everyone has to be a member of, whether you like it or not. Like, we're all in this. So musicians, photographers, sculptors, poets, promoters, you've got to learn where you belong in this world, in this environment, and figure out, how do I fit in? How can I use what I do and make what I do and add the live video element? If I can do that with my limited scope and just a couple of iPhones, and build where I've got hundreds of thousands of viewers on certain videos. And again, this is not to brag, and I don't think I'm really aiming for a big audience, but a couple of those videos did get over say 30-40,000 views on Facebook, which, again, that's not my audience. My audience isn't that big, but the capacity for me to reach people increased exponentially once I decided to use video consistently. So I think if I had to kind of like just put a pin on all of this, and if there's any questions at all, let me know again, because this is where I'm just gonna give you guys a chance to respond. If you have any questions about how I got started, whether or not you have thought about going live, thought about video, just never had an idea how to do it, and then seeing someone like me who is now, doing this consistently, again, speaking on a conference, VidFest 2020. And by the way, that's the link there for my link. It's my personal affiliate link. So I do receive a commission from that. I want to be honest and make sure you guys are clear that you are supporting me when you use that particular link to sign up for this conference. So it's bit.ly, Instagram. I should type it later. bit.ly/morevids, VIDS 2020. So bit.ly/morevids 2020. That's my link. You can use my link to sign up. There still should be tickets available. And if you use the link, use the code VidFest40, I think you can still get 40% off. I don't know if tickets are still available. It literally starts in about 30 minutes. But like I said, I want to invite you guys. I'll be speaking on Wednesday night. But most importantly, I want to make sure I drew the line between my experience as a creative and realizing that I needed to learn. I needed to push myself out of my comfort zone, and that God had something for me that did not exist before. I would not have known that I would be considered for a panelist on this conference had I not taken the shot first to be a consistent video creative. If I hadn't tried that Instagram, if I hadn't tried that Facebook, if I hadn't tried that YouTube, I wouldn't be speaking to you right now. And again, with someone with my experience, if I can do that, so can you. And I want to encourage you, one way or another, in whatever creative space you're in. Obviously churches are doing live streaming for services and things like that. So some of you may be involved in that. But whatever way or shape or form, you have to create something where you're connecting with your audiences on a consistent level. And there's really no greater connection right now if you can't be live than through video, because that's exactly what, again, I've discovered through the last 6 months or so. Okay. So that's the creative checkup for today. Josh, so awesome that you are working on your YouTube channel. You definitely would be, matter of fact, I will send you, Josh, since you're part of the creative community, I will check and see if that link is already in the creative community. And I forgot to share the creative community, darn. But I'll share it later. I guess you caught me. So I'm glad that I forgot to share it to the other place, but it's there here. Okay. So check that out. The link is, again, bit.ly/morevids2020. It's an all-week conference. You do have access to replays if you miss a certain thing. So I would just say sign up and then go find as many of those conference sessions on YouTube as possible. There's a track for newbies. There's a track for people who are building YouTube. And so everybody that's watching this, there's a track for you. My track is success through live streaming. Crazy, right? Like, how am I the one already a success? But so I'm going to check that out, all these different sessions. And again, I just wanted to make sure you guys were invited. That is my link again. Those of you who want to join through my link. And unless I see any other questions, I'm going to have to jump off because I got to get ready for the opening conference. Let me just look around. I see your comments here, Ja, but I can't see anything below that. So let me just make sure anybody else has commented. But I saw Latoya. I saw Snowden. What's up, man? Thank you so much for joining. Some of my other friends here on Instagram. Sisanavi. Haven't seen you in forever. Hope you've been doing well. My good friend, Cousin Red. She was in here. And also Timothy. Looks like I'm Just Mo. All you guys that joined us on Instagram, thank you so much. And let me take a quick look here before we jump off and make sure I didn't miss any questions. Let's see here. Waiting for new messages. I can't see the old messages. That's not fair. So I'll just have to deal with that. And if there are questions, real quick before I jump off. If you are watching this on the replay, even if you are thinking, I missed the conference, or I didn't get anything out, from that particular link, still just check it out, see if you can get a ticket to it. And even if it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, by the time you see this of this week, this is 11:30 as I'm recording this and as I'm playing it for you guys. But if you're watching this on a replay later, go ahead and just try the link, see if you can get there, see if you can get in. Because again, just the connections you'll make with other creators, and most of the people I've seen there are not just video creators. They're production, they're musicians, they're podcasters, they're artists. There's everybody in this particular circle. So you're going to get something out of it, even if you don't get to see every single thing. All right. So that's my link for that. That's my creative checkup. Again, think about me. The fact that I started so green. I was so lost. And yet I was able to figure this out. I was able to learn how to go live, how this could work for me. And now again, with things like Restream, if you're interested in Restream, just go to godandgigs.com/toolkit. I might have that. Let me see. That's my, wait, let's find it. No, it's not there. Dang. I was hoping it was there. So godandgigs.com/toolkit if you want to check out any of the resources that I'm using, including Restream and Canva and all the other things that I use to create some of my graphics. You might want to check that out as well. That's all at godandgigs.com/toolkit. But again, guys, step out of your comfort zone. If you've been scared of going live, look at me. I started with nothing, just a phone, did some research. If you have specific questions, definitely reach out to me. But probably better than reaching out to me is to attend the conference. Try to find one of those sessions that will answer your questions. There are going to be so many people that are going to be answering questions about this kind of stuff, and why I believe, again, it's a God-oriented, a God-sent tool. Let's put it that way. I'll try to put it. It's a tool that God can provide for you to really push your career to the next level. You may not even realize it's possible. It is possible. I'm living proof of that. So with that, guys, it's 1:30, right on time. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you have a continual, wonderful holiday season. I've been praying for everybody that you stay safe and stay healthy and your careers grow, that you continue to become the creative that you were created to be. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, it's never, never, never taken for granted that you guys would even spend some time with me each Monday. And I will be back 2:00, probably back to our normal time next week. And we'll see how we're going to close out the end of the year 2020. Wow, can't believe it's almost over. All right, guys. God bless. Take care. I'll see you next week. And again, hopefully I'll see you sometime during VidFest 2020. But if not, have a great rest of the week, okay? Take care.